Nation, what's going on? This is Ken, the super cool Spartan. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. We're Williams Inc. Cue the Woodshed. Back for another lovely episode about the Michigan State Spartans. Once again, we took another loss. Wasn't as brutal as last week, but still, the results were the same. 31-9. Overall, maybe looked a little better compared to last week, but still. Gave up 31 points this week. 41 points last week. So a total of 72 points given up in the past couple of weeks. And we've only scored, 9 plus 7, 16? So, what are your initial thoughts?
I feel like we've watched this game. It's the same game we watched last year. Mm-hmm. We've seen the same things. We're having the same problems, essentially, throughout the Mel Tucker regime. This is his team. I know we keep saying it, but this is his team, his product. 4 years in, the majority of the players, his players, coached by him, recruited by him, and it looks the same. You have the same bonehead penalties. You have the same mistakes. You have the same befuddling play calling. It's if you blindfolded me and then made me watch this random game from last year to this year, or any of the games last year, it feel no different. Mm-hmm. And so it's saddening to me because as much as I love Michigan State football, it's hard to pay attention to them. This game, to me, I know a lot of fans understood Washington. Washington might be probably top 4 team in the country.
Right.
They're great. They've been waxing everybody and making it look easy. Okay, we understand we're not at that level. But Maryland should have been a better test. And I'm sure there are some positives. But again, it's 31-9. And we lost the game that I feel like better coaching would have won.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's like the same episode, different season, same results, and it is very disheartening to watch. So I guess I'm going to have to redo my thing from you being the super bad Spartan to the super mad Spartan to the super sad Spartan. Sad Spartan.
I don't know if I was sad just now.
Super mad to super sad.
I'm just ready to move on, and I'm excited. I know we talked about it before, but I'm excited to see, okay, what's next. All the things that happened, we don't have to rehash everything that's happened the last few weeks, but we can start moving forward soon. And that's how I look at each game. A step forward to the next regime, to the next coaching staff, to hopefully the return of Spartan football, maybe. Right.
And we know that there's a lot of different articles and talking heads and whomever, doing that whole coaching candidate routine. There's version 1 of these articles, then version 2 probably coming out soon, then version 3, 4, 5, 6 until the actual head coach is named. But yeah, it is quite the carousel right now.
Yeah, no one really knows anything. It is very early in the season. And I know there's coaches' names have been thrown out there, but hopefully these coaches aren't even paying attention to it yet because you have your own season going on.
Yeah.
So I don't expect to hear anything of substance until late October. Mm-hmm. Definitely, hopefully we have Penn State game happens. The next day, hey, they're introducing this new Michigan State football head coach.
Right.
And so we can try to salvage whatever recruits we have left because people will leave and that's just inevitable. And there's nothing to get mad about the recruits for, nothing to get mad at the players who choose to leave because it's their right.
Yeah.
And these people that somebody who's coming in didn't recruit you, they don't know you. Right. So that's just the nature of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've already seen one domino fall after the game. There was a 3-star recruit, I can't remember the kid's name.
I think it's like Cameron Campbell, he decommitted, which...
Yeah.
Best luck to the young man. Like what? Exactly. So it is what it is.
Yep. They're going through some football follies right now.
Yes.
So, speaking of which, let's get to it. Good Sparty, bad Sparty. Let's start with the bad as always.
More bad than good. We have to start with the biggest takeaway from the game was the turnovers.
Right.
Five of them.
2 thrown by Kim.
2 interceptions, a fumble, and another interception, and then another fumble on the kickoff return. It
very disheartening.
the most. I know we'll get to the good Sparty, but the turnovers is what killed this team in this game. Anytime there's any type of momentum, State was moving the ball or doing good, turnover. Defense stands up, sort of, turnover, put in a bad position. It's just, and that's what we've been seeing for the last 4 years. It was Mel Tucker's thing. Complimentary football has not existed at Michigan State in the last 4 years. If the special team's not playing good, offense not playing good, defense is playing good, then one of the 3 6 of the game is never in sync.
Right.
Somebody's
Or
always
two of the 3.
2 of the 3, and it's just, and that's why you keep getting these same results.
Yeah, it's like I said, very disheartening just to see all of these football follies again. The 5 turnovers, and I was actually at Michigan State this past weekend for homecoming, MSU Black Alumni Homecoming, and I didn't see all the game in its entirety, but I did see some of it because some of the alumni at the tailgate party, they were showing the game on their tablets and phones. So I did see what happened in some spurts. I did get a chance to rewatch some of the game a little bit, but from what I saw, just like what is going on here, and then like it's the 2 picks thrown by Kim, back to the coordinators. I mean, that's a continuing theme, just bad coordination, defense and offense, more so to me on offense, because the defense, like you said, they did their best to put up a fight.
Yes.
But it's and even some of the alumni I spoke to at the tailgate, they were like, Jay Johnson, he gotta go.
No, and it's just, the whole coaching staff. And I know there are some good position coaches, but it's just the nature of the game. The team doesn't look well coached. It looked unprepared sometimes.
Or most times.
Most times. And you keep having these same penalties that come up. Special teams. I don't know how Ross Ells is pulling the check. Special teams have been a problem since day one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get fixed. He was just the linebackers coach, now he's special teams coach, and the special teams is still playing like garbage.
Yeah.
And then with the turnovers, Kim threw a couple of turnovers, and it's kind of sad because I know you can't cherry pick too much because the game happened. They have if this happened, that happened, this happened. The spectacle. Kim was actually having a decent game, but then in between his decent game, he has these turnovers.
Yeah.
It just
it kills the team. It kills the momentum.
It does. Somebody put on a message board that maybe she change his number back to 14 because 10 seems to be cursed at Michigan State.
Oh yeah, because was that Maxwell's number?
Maxwell, Thorne, now Kim. It's just,
oh wow!
Maybe we should
burn that jersey.
Yeah, get rid of it, retire. not good reasons. It's just a shame. And then we talked about already turnovers. You had the penalties.
Yes.
They had 5 or 6 penalties this game. They cut it down to half from Washington, but still too many untimely turnovers. Untimely penalties, killing momentum, killing drives. Again, the same song every game.
Yeah.
And you just keep going. And then, to just keep going down the list, when offense did move the ball, we're trying to score some points. What happens? You get a stupid 4th down play call. State had rolled out their QB sneak, the Eagles play. Everybody gets behind the quarterback and kind of pushes it forward. They ran it in this game a few times, successfully. Mm-hmm. So you get down, I think we're down 21-0, or it was 14-0. Yeah, it's 14-0. We're trying to score a touchdown and just, all right, get back in the game. moving the ball, we got a little juice. And then just some stupid play call on a 4th and 1 where you've been doing the same thing, getting down the field. Do some like handoff and it gets tackled for a loss, turnover or downs. And then what happens after that? Minutes score a touchdown, 21-0.
Was that the play with Nathan Carter? Because I remember when I was watching the game at Tailgate, there was like a 4th and 5 play.
No, this was a 4th and 1.
Oh, so that's different.
Yes,
we're
getting ready, and they hand out the same little stupid little handoff next to the person, slow developing run play.
Oh, okay.
Like, Jay Johnson, why are you calling that?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
And then someone, Jay Johnson, he ran the same screenplay like 6-7 times, and that directly led to one of Howard's his interception. The screen pass had not worked all game, and he continued to call it. And so at this point, man, I'm just sitting back. Oh, here it is. And it was had a pick 6. The guy that stepped out of bounds was very close.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Hauser did the same thing. Hauser gets in the game, moving the ball down the field, got a little juice. Okay, I see you, Hauser. Turnover. 2 quarterbacks, same play calling, turnovers. I'm not saying all the turnovers are Jay Johnson's fault because he's not the one executing the plays.
But isn't he also the QB coach?
Yes, he is. I know it's popular to bag on Jay Johnson. And what's crazy is that, for the most part, I feel like there are more good plays than bad plays, but there are more execution errors than bad play calls.
Mm-hmm.
But the play calls get magnified because in the game you're getting your butt beat.
Right.
You have to look at everything about it.
Right.
So I mentioned the screen passes, the stupid 4th and shorts, just ridiculousness. But all right, the receivers got open sometimes. All right, then Kim got erratic a little bit. He did the same thing he's been doing this last 3 games. Starts out a little bit shaky. He started a little bit faster than normal. But then he had the interception right away. So it's like, you just watch this team and like, what do you come back to? What do they do well? Like, what do you hang your hat on? What can you look at this team and say, you know what? That Michigan State team, yeah, they don't do this well, but they do that very well. They pass the ball very well. They run the ball very well. They do nothing well.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you don't know what this team hangs their hat on. Because past teams, you've heard opposing coaches say that, they're a very physical football team. They can run the ball well. They play great defense. But, yeah, like you said, with this team, it's like, okay, well, right now, the only good thing we're doing is putting up L's.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to see what we really do that opposing teams can be like, oh, yeah, we really need to scheme against this because of this is how well they do that.
You know what?
But now we don't know what that is that they do well.
I'm gonna mention this point again later on. Michigan State is a get-right team. And what I mean by that is when the other team comes in the playoffs, we're their get-right team for them. They can come in and say, oh, no, Michigan State, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, we can try this, we can do everything we need to get ourselves together. We're like a practice squad almost for another team. They come in, and to be completely honest, people hang their hat on that, defense fault, this and that. Like, well, Maryland seemed bored. They got 21-0, was like, these bums ain't got it.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically played away the rest of the game. Even when State had chance to put actual game pressure on Maryland, they failed to do it continually.
Right.
And it's the same story, same song and dance every game.
Right.
So it was just.
Well, I know what was evident was when I mentioned it this a few minutes ago, the 4th and 5 play that I saw at Tailgate, where the people I was watching it with, I said to them, okay, you're going to give the ball to Nathan Carter, and this play's not going to go nowhere.
Well, on the 4th and 5, you shouldn't be running. That shouldn't be running.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially with our. And now they'll say, well, the run game was decent. Like, yeah, in spurts, but we were down.
Right.
You got to throw the ball. And it's just disheartening. So I really do love Michigan State sports, love Michigan State football, basketball. I just love the university. It's just, I'm not even embarrassed anymore. It's just like a disappointed parent, just looking back, shaking my head. You could do better. And I think this, beside disappointing, is just if the team wasn't good, you can accept that, but at least control things you can control, the penalties, the turnovers. You have not seen this team play a cleanish game since what, Miami in 2021? Just, they came out business-like, we're going to get this done. And that's the most vivid game of my memory of Michigan State. That's why I had a lot of hope for Mel Tucker being the coach because, okay, we went to Miami, we didn't have a lot of hype, but that game kind of propelled the whole season.
Right.
Okay, we have a little something. It's a tough game to go on the road to Miami. They're not the best team, but they're not bums.
Right. And in that environment.
Yeah, it was hot and they're used to the weather, but yeah, since then, nothing. No inconsistencies everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was kind of, I don't know if you can say this is troubling, but they played all three quarterbacks in that game. I mean, I haven't seen a Michigan State game that I can recall where they played three quarterbacks, unless the first two got hurt, but just like, wow.
Sign of the times, okay. These kids got to put something on tape because they might be looking to leave, might be looking to go somewhere. You never know. I believe Harlan Barnett mentioned during a press conference, and he reiterated earlier this week, that Kim is the starter.
Yeah, he did say
but
that.
But they needed a spark. So they wanted to see what Hauser could do. I'm not against that. I think also Kim, he got a little injury on the play. He got sacked and he came up limping.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next series, that's when they had Hauser come in to try to provide a spark. And then for Sam Levitt,
It was garbage time.
Yeah, I believe his parents were there at that game, and so might as well put him in and see what he can do. I don't know. I suspect some of these QBs won't be here next season, and they'll go on.
Or maybe all of them won't be here next season.
I don't know. You're right. It's very possible. And I'm not saying I don't like each of the quarterbacks. I think they all bring something positive to the program. They just need experience. I think we've seen positives from Kim. We've seen positives from Hauser. It's hard to take anything away from Sam Levitt. He only got in a few plays. You know, he seemed comfortable, but what can you say?
Right.
One thing, I don't have a dog in the fight who's starting quarterback. Kim has not looked the same since he took that big hit versus Washington.
That's true.
And I've noticed in the pocket now, he's not standing as firm as he could. Because I watched the game with our dad, and he even noticed, okay, he's
shell shocked.
He's getting out the pocket a little too quickly. You can step up, and all right, you can hang in there and deliver the ball. Hauser looked very confident in the pocket. And I'm not saying that Kim didn't look confident. I just think it was a noticeable difference in stature.
Right.
Just that Hauser got back there, and he looked more comfortable when he stepped in the pocket. So we'll see. The next game is, I don't know.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get there. Yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah, I got some thoughts about that one.
One article I did read, I think it was on Spartans Wire, and it was one of those very many opinion articles that this specific writer thinks that Hauser should be the starter moving forward because of his play until he threw that pick in the game. And then I remember reading when, before the season started, one of those prediction articles, the writer said that, I think it was Connor Muldowney, I think that's his kid, I think that's his name. But he predicted, and I was kind of thinking about this too, that after around this time, that he thinks that Hauser would take over as QB for the rest of the season. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know why. Not for the next game. I wouldn't want to put Hauser as the starter going into Iowa at night. That seems like that's a recipe for a disaster. To be more comfortable with it, I would say wait till the bye week and then make that change if you're going to. I'm not against it. They need to win games now.
Right.
So whoever provides the best chance for them to win, that's who needs to play.
Right.
Because these coaches are coaching for their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think, just by the results, these guys are going to get too many Power 5 offers like, hey, come be our offensive coordinator, come be our defensive coordinator, come be our offensive line coach. Like, I don't know. You guys are getting paid $1 million a piece each, and the results have not been great.
Right. Another conversation that I had with one of my alumni at the tailgate, and this was actually kind of funny. He pointed out that Harlan Barnett was just too happy to get the coaching job.
That's unfair. That's unfair. Like, what? He's in a tough position. He even said, "I want to be Michigan State's head coach, but not like this." And
he was
everything going in.
It was just a funny conversation that we had, but because
Barnett's in a tough position. It's just
yeah, he is, and getting these first 2 games East Coast, giving up 72 total points doesn't look good for your resume moving forward.
I don't know.
And I'm trying not to laugh. I'm not, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We've talked about the bad. Let's go to
the good Sparty.
The good Sparty. It is.
Yeah.
Next Sparty. Next segment. No good Sparty. No. As much as I felt like it kind of didn't matter, the defense had life.
Yeah.
They tried to keep Michigan State in the game. They're not a defense at this point, or any point we've seen in a while, that can win you a game. Now they can hold on, and they were holding on for dear life because the first few drives, Maryland was putting it on them.
Mm-hmm.
But the turnovers really killed them. I think Maryland ended up with 3 or 4 touchdowns off of the 5 turnovers, and the defense. Second half, they got them off the field a lot. And the offense moved the ball, just couldn't score.
Right.
And so I think, I keep going back, there's talent on this team.
Yeah, I agree, especially Malik Carr, because the plays I've seen, I mean, he really showed some fight.
He did show some fight. And it was coordinators, I don't know what's going on. We get down there, Malik Carr done got us down the field. And then we need this 3rd or 4th down to score a touchdown. He's not in the game. You take him out and put somebody else in. I'm like, he's a mismatch nightmare.
Yeah.
And we're not. I feel like we don't use him effectively enough. Now I don't know all the ins and outs, X's and O's of what a tight end's supposed to do, but I do know a good player when I see one.
Oh yeah.
And he was playing really well.
Right.
And even to go back on the defense, there was a newer starter, Chance Rucker.
Okay.
He was a defensive back, cornerback, and they barely went at him a lot. And for him to be a young player, I think he held him up very well. And I heard there's rumblings that he was supposed to start, but he got injured, and you always hear rumblings and stuff out there.
Yeah, there's always, yeah.
But that's a bright spot on the defense. They went at him, and he stepped up for his first game I ever remember seeing him. So shout out to Chance Rucker. I think he had a great game. Defensive line, no sacks, disappointing, but they put pressure on Tagovailoa. And I can't think of his first name. I call him Tulia, okay. Yeah, I call him Baby Two, but it's not.
Right, Baby T.
I don't want to be disrespectful to him because he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
The offense moved the ball? Is that a positive?
Yeah. Well, somewhat.
They outgained Maryland, I believe. If I was telling Dad this, Michigan State's winning except the category that matters. The score.
Score, right. I will say that even though Hauser did throw that pick, the way that he moved the ball down the field to the red zone, I thought that was pretty impressive, to be thrown in like that. Like you say, he did show some poise in the pocket.
Yes.
He didn't appear rattled. It's just unfortunate that
Jay Johnson dialed up that same screenplay and here we go.
Yeah.
And had it worked all game.
Yeah. And like you said, MSU, they did cut down on the total yards gained by Maryland compared to last week. I think they at least cut that in half.
Yeah, the defense kept Milan below their season average, which sometimes these statistics I don't even know what they mean anymore when you lose. Especially if anybody looked at just the box score, we got blown out.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't feel that way watching it. It was hurtful to watch the game because I felt like this is a game that we should be better competing in and even winning.
Right.
If we had, competent coaching, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Harlan Barnett. I mean basically the coordinators and the offensive line coach, because my goodness, this inability to do anything on offense consistently is very annoying.
It is. And anything else for the good side?
We're on to Iowa. We're one more game down, one more game closer to a new regime. Good Sparty. That's my good Sparty.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, speaking of Iowa, they are coming off a pretty good butt whooping, 31-0 at Penn State. So they're going to be pretty fired up and angry when we play them next Saturday, or this coming up Saturday. A night game, Kinnick Stadium, 7:30. Whew. Ah, man, that is looking like a pretty bad game for us.
Yes, it reminds me of the letter of the day, which is L, because we've definitely taken a loss. I cannot see how the Spartans are going to win this game. I have this as a loss in general up front, because night game at Kinnick, I mean, not even a night game, okay, just at Kinnick, it's just on the road, the team is inconsistent, they're new, not really hopeful for it. Even I know they just lost 31-0. As I said, Michigan State's a get-right team, so I'm sure that Iowa will get right versus us.
Right.
They'll probably get their points up. I believe the offensive coordinator, he's on the contract to score a certain amount of points per game. Now,
is that what's named son?
Yes. The previous week, they ran up the score and they kind of got his average at 24 need to be at. Now this big old dump they put up last weekend, it's not looking so high. The zero is hard to come back from.
Right. So, and I meant to say Kirk Ferentz's son,
yeah.
Yeah, his son is the OC for Iowa.
Yes. We'll see. They're a familiar team. Cade McNamara's the quarterback. Iowa's biggest problem has been their offense.
Yeah.
They're like the Michigan State of the West when we actually were sort of good, like halfway decent. We had a good defense, no offense. That's Iowa.
Yeah, this might be whoever has the better defense might win this game, because Iowa can't. Well, obviously they can't score. They put up 0 points. Our deficiencies in the red zone, we've put up more points, but playing at night at Kinnick,
after them coming up with butt whooping?
That's a tall task.
Even the better than Antonio teams that went to Kinnick got their butt whooped.
Oh yeah.
I believe the year they won a Big Ten championship, we went there and got just demolished with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And so it's a tough place to play, and we've seen top teams go down to Kinnick at nighttime.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm not too confident in it, because the most dominant unit on the field will probably be Iowa's defense, and they can win the game off defense because our offense has shown they can turn the ball over.
Right.
So you can give them short fields. Cade is a decent enough quarterback that if you give him a short field, he can score on you. So I'm not going to disrespect him anywhere there. Like I said, if I could just find something that the Spartans did well, I could, in my mind, pave the path to victory. But I'm not even going to allow myself to feel like that. I'm just going to go in, because I'm going to watch the game. I know I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I'm not watching the game anymore. I'm checked out. Like, I might be checked out more emotionally.
We have to watch these games for the sake of our podcast.
Of course. I might be checked out emotionally. But I'm going to watch the game because I still want to root for my team. Because I feel like the players deserve our support, but they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't ask to sign up for this.
Right, that's true.
But it's just true. I think we'll see Noah Kim be the starter. So I just can't imagine that they'd come out and put Caden Hauser in his first start on the road. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever they got to do to win.
Right.
It's just they have to.
Now, I did read an article, I think it was yesterday, where they interviewed Harlan Barnett. Maybe it was at his presser. And he said that he looked at the film, and he says that the Spartans are very close to breaking out. So I was like, oh, okay. I think we've heard that story before.
Yeah.
But,
It's like saying I was close to getting with that girl. Like, he was close. It didn't happen, did it?
I know.
So and that's not a shot at Harlan Barnett. I know he's trying to keep positive. He's trying to keep the ship above water.
Yeah.
But close would be, hey, it came down to the last couple possessions and it didn't work out. Close is Ohio State versus Notre Dame we just saw.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
that game came under the wire.
Funny story. After that game, I get a phone call. I guess Dad's calling. Why is Dad calling me after this game just went off? I know he's not watching it. He said it was a pleasure to watch a real football game. of two teams going out there and competing
and duking it out.
Mostly mistake-free football, just good old-fashioned football. He said you'll probably never see that at Michigan State, and I can't blame him, right? Because what have we seen?
Yes.
Nothing. I have not seen a high-level football game from Michigan State in so long.
Yeah.
We weren't even just watching that game. We're not even in the same realm as those teams.
Oh no.
We'll be their practice squad fodder. They would just, I'm sure. As much as people want to talk about Ohio State and they're not the vintage Ohio State, they're probably going to put it on us pretty good yet again.
Oh yeah.
For like the 5th, 6th straight year.
Right. And what is the vintage Ohio State like?
They just mean high-powered offense. That's what they really mean. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah. What really concerns me, not to go back to bad Sparty, but moving forward with the teams coming from the Pac-12 into the Big Ten next year, that is just like, wow. Compared to where we're at right now, yeah, it's going to be a daunting task to get back to the type of football that we enjoy to watch. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to be rough. And this is just my opinion, as a fan. I'm no recruiting expert or some insider.
I think what you're saying is, and I think a lot of Spartan fans feel the same way. This next coaching hire, these next few seasons are pivotal of what Michigan State football is going to be for the next decade or two. Because with these new schools coming in and expanding the playoffs, you can find yourself being left out if you're not a top 15 school.
Mm-hmm.
And State hasn't been a top 15 school it seems like a long time. I guess. Okay, we 2021 we were top 10 school, but that was
it's like a flash in the pan.
Yeah, flash in the pan. It's not consistent. We want to get back to that consistency, and we're seeing that you have all these good teams in the division, and it's only going to get harder. You said basically adding like the top Pac-12 teams.
Yeah.
And most of those were 3 out of 10, or 3 out of the 4 are coming, or top 10, top 20.
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, the Pac-12 is they killing it this year.
And so we don't want to get left behind.
Right.
And we're seeing it slip away a little bit. And so to your point, where everybody's kind of feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to be left behind. We don't want to be in like football purgatory with like Indiana and Rutgers and Minnesota. We want to be in that at least tier before the top tier,
Right.
Like Penn State. Penn State, they're never bottom feeder. They're not middle. They're always either they're going to be decent or very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year they look like they have a very good team.
Right.
Challenge for the Big Ten. We want to get back to at least trying to challenge for a Big Ten. We're just trying to win. Trying to make a bowl game at this point.
We're trying to beat Maryland.
Exactly. So I understand it, but we'll see.
Yes, yes, we will. So, let's talk about something happy. Our usual MSU football fun facts. So, we're going to touch on who has the most career yards passing for Michigan State. Any guesses?
Career yards passing.
Yes, who's like the career passing leader in the history of the program?
I would say like Connor Cook or Kirk Cousins.
Actually, yes, you're right. Connor Cook is the number one rated one. He's had 9,194 yards passing during his tenure from 2012 to 2015.
The golden years.
Yes, yes.
The best
He's
years.
number one. Number two, surprisingly, is Kirk Cousins.
I don't think that's surprising. Those are the two top Michigan State quarterbacks in our history. So it's like I would assume it's between them.
He's at 9,139 yards.
Captain Kirk.
Yes, from 2008 to 2011. So, yeah, I was surprised about Kirk Cousins, maybe because of back in the day, like maybe in the John L. Smith days, even though he wasn't that good of a coach. I mean, he did throw that rock around. All those passing plays with Jeff Smoker. But yeah, Connor Cook's number one, Kirk Cousins number two. Yeah, Drew Stanton's on that list too. I think he's might be
Always
4 or 5, but
always wish what it looked like to have seen Drew Stanton play with Mark D'Antonio.
oh yeah, that would have been.
Stanton was he was tough. That was that was when I was at State.
Yeah.
You know, he
Local product too from
Farmington Hill.
yep,
Yeah.
Harrison High School, which now is the Hawk.
The Hawk.
But yeah.
Yes, yeah, well, positive notes. Reflect on better days.
Right. So before we get out of here, I want to give a special shout out, a very special shout out to my son, Mr. Ethan 8-Bit Williams, who is watching behind the scenes. He is the beat maker for Cue the Woodshed.
The intro and outro beat, yes.
Yes. My son Ethan is, he's an up and coming music producer at the young
Okay.
age of 10 years old. So shout out to him, my son, your good nephew.
Yes.
So
E.
yes, Lil E, 8-Bit. Check his music out soon. So with that said, I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan. It's my brother Brian, the super sad Spartan this week. Watch us, Cue the Woodshed. Check us out on YouTube. And also check us out on TikTok, Instagram. And for any feedback, you can email us at blkspartybros@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace.